Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course, and pleased to be joined by one of the newest drivers of AJ Foyt Racing, Santino Ferrucci. He's back full-time in Indycar. Will be driving the number 14 Chevrolet full-time in 2023. Big stuff there. Santino, how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. We're just getting into off season here at home, and yeah, was down at the shop last week. Going up to the Indy shop probably next week. Might actually head back down to the Houston shop again this week to see if road course cars come back from Indy yet.
Yeah, well, of course of course AJ Foyt Racing is located if I'm not mistaken, the main shop is in Texas, and of course you live in Texas, so it all kind of works out.
Yeah, well, I think it was the main shop for quite some time now. Now it's just basically AJ shop. All of our body fit and most of our big stuff gets done in Indy now, and then I guess our filing touches and little things are done down here in Houston. But it's helpful for me because I'm here. I like being in Texas. Our winters are better. Like our, everything to do with Texas quite a bit. My fiance's here, so there's a lot that keeps me to Dallas. So this works out fantastic for us.
Yeah, and of course, you lived in Florida for a while too, and of course you're from Connecticut, so
Yep.
The winters are fine really anywhere. I mean, you haven't had from Florida to Texas, it doesn't maintain well. Texas sometimes gets snow, but
Every now and then. I mean, I still have all my residencies in Florida. I still have my place there as my main address. I'm waiting to see how Florida goes. I still do travel back there quite a bit, so I do have family there. So, yeah, hopefully, we'll be full time in Texas here in the next year or so.
Yeah,
6 months, say.
And you also, by the way, besides making some news about your plans for next year, you also made some other big news. You're now engaged.
Yeah. So all sorts of there is a 2 months of absolute craziness because I was getting engaged the same time I found out I was getting the full-time ride, literally a day after each other.
Wow, that's insane.
Yep, unplanned, but it was put it that way, it was probably one of the best weekends of my life.
Pretty much. I mean, nothing can top that.
No, be hard.
Yeah. So I know you've been in and out of IndyCar. Of course, we've seen you kind of everywhere. Of course, you were on the NASCAR side a little bit, driving some Xfinity races for Sam Hunt Racing. What was that like for you? And because I mean, it's always it's a fun environment. Anyone knowing Sam Hunt, it's a fun environment. But you guys, you put some good cars on the racetrack too.
Yeah, we've definitely had it. We had a great run, especially this year. We had 2 really, really good races. Pocono, we were really quick. I just, learning experience for me. But no, I mean, I do love Sam. He's like a really good friend of mine now at this point. I don't really see him as a boss, which is kind of funny because I've been with him from almost the start of his full-time Xfinity venture. And I do plan to hopefully continue running some races for him in the upcoming season. I do love it very much. I do enjoy running the Xfinity cars. It's just a matter of finding the budget to go do that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a different world, but yeah, it'll be definitely interesting to see what happens next year.
Yeah. You're full time in IndyCar for the first time in 2 years since 2020. What is it like to be back full time again? Because it's been a while since you've been full time.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be nice to consistently race against the same drivers on the grid. Man, I ran a lot of races in 21 compared to last season, so I'm just beyond stoked with the opportunity. Just because it was starting to get really tough. I got really lucky with the Ray Hall deal in 21 with as many races as I did. Got super lucky last year filling in for a couple of injured drivers on top of a solid 500 run with Dreyer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I raced 5 times last year. That's not a lot, considering. So, it's a big deal for me. And, in 21, I raced 12 to 13 times or so. So, less than half of that, and to end up coming back with a full-time ride it's a huge accomplishment. And I can't thank AJ and Larry enough for trusting me and believing in me and wanting to take the chance to just put me in the car full time, especially in the 14.
Yeah. I mean, the it speaks for itself. You're in the 14 car. What is that? Have you thought about that? It's like, I'm not just driving for Super Techs. I'm in the 14.
Yeah, it's got some cool history to it. 14, actually, fun enough, is one of my lucky numbers, or at least it has been throughout my career. So I'm pretty excited. Most of what I grew up with the 14 car, just given my era, was actually Tony. And then Tony being obviously a huge AJ fan, that's how I started to grow more, learning about AJ and obviously being an IndyCar and, knowing about his history and being down at the shop and spending time with him has been pretty impressive. Yeah, he's he's definitely an interesting guy, let me say the least. He's very, very Texan, and I love spending time with him down there. The stories that he tells are from nothing we could do today. So, and I'm very jealous of that. So they definitely had the time of their lives growing up. But yeah, it was a lot dangerous. It was a lot different. So we're very, very fortunate as current drivers as well.
We're only, goodness gracious, I'm 5-6 months away from the season. I know there's going to be, it's going to come up fast because we're going to come up. We're not even to Thanksgiving yet, but it'll be here before you know it. But how excited what is the plan for the off season?
Well, right now we're working on getting an engineer for both cars. Just some new race engineers, some good full-time guys. That'll be obviously number one on the list for us as we get into November here. So we'll see what happens and go from there. But our damper program's already set in motion. We are working on our 7-post and stuff like that, and getting some good time slots to start actually doing some development. The team was very analytical of, where would they need to improve going into next year, which is tracks like Indy GP. So a lot of our testing will be structured around a smooth road course car to try and dial that in, versus the street course car seems pretty plug and play. And same with the oval car, man. If you look back last year at results, they had a couple of mishaps. They just didn't finish a lot of races when they were running in good positions. So, it's sometimes what happens when you're a rookie, and yeah, sometimes the team makes some mistakes, but all in all, they didn't, as treacherous as the season looked like on paper, I don't think it was all in all that bad to work on something to move forward into this year.
Were you at the Cowboys game recently?
Sure was.
When were you there? Was it just this week or?
Yep. This was there this Sunday. Watched Dak get back in the saddle and smoke the Detroit Lions. So but yeah, it was just definitely it was a cool experience. So I can say I do fall in love with the sports atmosphere here in Dallas. It's very, very different everywhere I've been. It's an incredible community. Everybody here follows all types of sports. College sports are huge. Racing's really big. I just wish we could transfer some of that energy that the Jerry Jones world gets into the Fort Worth, Texas Motor Speedway.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun there. You're from Texas, of course. Ovals are really kind of where your strongest point. And of course, you got a top 10. I think was last year. I was on 21 at Texas, filling in for that. It's how do you like racing Indy cars at Texas?
Dude, I will say filling in for Texas last year or this year, 22. It's very different than jumping in at any other oval, even Indy's its own type of beast. But I mean, it doesn't take long if you have a lot of you can tack downforce into the car at Indy and just go run laps flat and not really worry about it. Texas can't really do that. You're kind of limited on how much downforce you can run by the series. So you just kind of got to go in and hope that the car is good, and it's very much on the ragged edge. And with no practice, and starting dead last. Honestly, starting dead last was kind of nice because I just got to build up to it in my own time. But it wasn't like any other Xfinity race I did. I mean, I showed up with the rest of those with no practice and no laps. So, I mean, no reason as to why I couldn't do it in an IndyCar around a track that I actually have laps at. So that was my mindset. But that track's just, I mean, it's just a lot of fun. I just wish we could promote it better so we can actually get fans out there. Also, it needs to be a night race. I don't know why we're running it in the middle of a day on a Sunday. That race needs to be under the lights. 110%. We need to have all of our oval races truly under the lights, like starting at 7:00, 7:30, like when it's dusk going into, dark. The racing's just so much better. The air is a lot better for the cars. We can follow, we can pass, we can actually race. So, but that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans would agree with you on that one.
Potentially.
No, so of course you go into not much changes from this year to the next year. Obviously, the biggest change will be Detroit. Obviously, going there will not change, but the track will. Going from the island back downtown, what's that going to be like?
I mean, dude, I love the island race. I'm not going to lie. I think personally, it's probably one of the best tracks that we have on the calendar by far. Provides the most, as a driver, it provides the most excitement. It's the most challenging on strategy. We can actually pass there. Like, it's not an impossible follow the leader track like Nashville, so to say. You can actually throw one in Detroit pretty good. But IndyCar is starting to get to the point to where they understand that we actually need to be in the markets. We just need to make sure that the tracks are actually enjoyable for the fans. For us, it is what it is. If we can pass and we can race and we're not sitting behind a safety car for, 2/3 of it, and there's good racing and strategy going on, and we're in a location where we can get a ton of people out and it's really convenient, then we're doing the right thing. 100% we're doing the right thing. So I'll be curious to see how Detroit runs this year. I mean, said I wish they'd bring back races like Baltimore. I wish we'd go back to Chicago. We need more races in the Northeast, dude. I mean, we need to also go back to Phoenix. I mean, Scottsdale's growing huge. I mean, they're talking about having some more big races. I mean, potentially F1 there. So there's no reason as to why we can't be in that market as well. Even Vegas. But I mean, the thing with Vegas Oval is it's 45 minutes, 30 minutes outside of Vegas itself. So it's not really that close. It's kind of like Fort Worth to Dallas.
Yeah. It's it's kind of just that way.
It's out there.
It is.
It needs promotion. It needs promotion. Hy-Vee did a fantastic job with Iowa. If we do that at all of our other tracks, we'd be fine. We would 100% be fine.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, any good event could always use, even if it's good promotion, obviously more of it is more for the better, as I like to say. Nothing. Yeah.
100% agree with that.
Yeah. All right. Santino Ferrucci, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and good luck this season. We'll definitely have you on again throughout the year.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Casey.